welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the heart of Genoa City. Today is a wonderfully reflective day, and we are so glad you have joined us to unpack some of the most emotional, complex, and truly captivating storylines unfolding on our screens. Grab a warm cup of coffee, settle in, and let us explore the intricate lives of our favorite characters together. I just find myself constantly thinking about the recent shift in the dynamic between Kane Ashby and Lily Winters. A shift that really seems to have changed the entire landscape of their relationship. Ever since Billy Flynn stepped into the role of Kane, replacing the previous lead actor, there has been this palpable, almost dangerous new energy surrounding the character. It is truly fascinating, really, how a new actor can bring out a completely different dimension of a man we thought we knew so intimately well. Flynn's portrayal isn't just about a man who loves his ex-wife. It is about a man who is deeply, profoundly, and almost painfully obsessed with her. You can see it in his eyes, in the subtle clenching of his jaw whenever she is near, or whenever her name is simply mentioned in passing. It is a raw, consuming desperation that honestly makes my heart ache for him, even when he is making questionable choices. I watch him on screen, and I just feel this heavy, suffocating weight of his unrequited longing. It is like he literally cannot breathe if she isn't in his orbit. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How far would a man go when he is driven by that kind of all-encompassing obsession? It is not just love anymore, it is a fundamental need for survival. And honestly, watching this darker, more intense version of Kane has been nothing short of captivating. But then, my mind always drifts back to the darker moments of their past. We really cannot talk about Kane and Lily without confronting the massive, uncomfortable elephant in the room. That horrific fake kidnapping. I still get chills just thinking about how that storyline played out. Just imagine the sheer terror Kane must have felt during those dark days. To receive the news that the woman you love, the mother of your precious children, has been taken. Along with your twins, Maddie and Charlie, the panic must have been blinding. I can only imagine the cold sweat, the sleepless nights, the agonizing feeling of absolute helplessness as he searched for them. He was a man completely broken, driven to the edge of his sanity by the thought that his family was in mortal danger. I remember watching those scenes and feeling a genuine knot in my stomach. The fear was so real, so visceral. And then, the devastating reveal, the moment the truth came crashing down. Finding out that Lily, his Lily, the woman he considered his soulmate, had orchestrated the entire terrifying ordeal. And not just by herself, but she had actually allied with Victor Newman to pull it off. Victor Newman, the man who has caused so much pain and destruction. To know that Lily shook hands with the devil to deceive Kane, the sting of that betrayal must have been absolute agony. I honestly do not know how anyone recovers from that kind of psychological torture. To realize that the tears you cried, the terror you felt, was all part of a calculated manipulation by the person you trusted most in the world. It is a betrayal that cuts straight to the bone, shattering the very foundation of trust. I felt so incredibly angry for Kane in that moment. It seemed like an unforgivable sin, a line that had been crossed from which there could be no return. I remember thinking that this was the end, that Kane would finally, rightfully, walk away and never look back. The rage he exhibited was completely justified. He was furious, and rightfully so. He had every right to banish Lily from his life, to build a wall of ice around his heart and protect himself from ever being hurt by her again. But that is not what happened, is it? Because despite all the anger, despite the profound, soul-crushing hurt, he just could not walk away. He tried to be angry, he tried to keep his distance, but the invisible tether that binds him to Lily is simply too strong. It is like gravity. He cannot fight it, no matter how hard he tries. It really makes you pause and think about the nature of true love. Is it really unconditional? Can it truly survive the ultimate betrayal? For Kane, the answer seems to be a resounding, agonizing yes. It really makes you believe in the concept of soulmates, doesn't it? That rare, unbreakable connection that defies logic, defies reason, and even defies self-respect sometimes. In his absolute core, in the deepest, most quiet parts of his soul, Kane truly believes that he and Lily are meant to be together forever. He believes they are twin flames, destined to burn together, even if they occasionally burn each other in the process. He simply cannot stop wanting her by his side. It is a tragic, beautiful kind of devotion. I find myself tearing up just thinking about how much he must suffer loving a woman who has hurt him so deeply, yet being completely incapable of letting her go. It is a testament to the enduring power of the Lane romance, a love story that has weathered storms that would have destroyed any other couple 100 times over. Lily herself has been struggling to understand it. You can see the confusion in her eyes when she looks at him now. She has actually questioned him, asking why he is still so incredibly good to her after everything she put him through. She knows she crossed a line. She carries the guilt of that fake kidnapping, the guilt of aligning with Victor, the guilt of causing the father of her children so much unnecessary trauma. So when Kane shows up for her, when he offers a shoulder to cry on, when he looks at her with that intense, unwavering devotion, it baffles her. I think she feels she doesn't deserve it. And maybe she doesn't, but love isn't about what we deserve, is it? It is about what we are willing to give. And Kane is willing to give her everything, even his forgiveness, which is perhaps the most precious gift of all. The truth, as I see it, is profoundly simple and yet endlessly complicated. Kane loves her. It is as simple as breathing for him. It is obvious to anyone who pays attention. He cherishes Lily so deeply that his own pain is secondary to hers. He literally cannot stand to see her suffer. When she is in pain, he is in pain. It is a profound empathy that overrides his own ego and his own lingering resentments. That is why he will always be there, lingering in the shadows, waiting for the moment she needs him. He is her eternal safety net, whether she wants him to be or not. And right now, in this current, devastating storyline, she needs him more than she ever has in her entire life. And now, we are watching this heartbreaking situation with Malcolm Winters unfold, and it is just tearing me apart. Malcolm's terrifying battle with the plastic anemia has cast a stark, suffocating cloud over the entire Winters family. The stakes have never been higher. This isn't just a business dispute or a romantic squabble. This is life and death. The air in Genoa City feels heavy with grief and anticipation. I watch the hospital scenes, and I can almost smell the sterile air, hear the rhythmic, haunting beeping of the heart monitors. It is a chilling reminder of how fragile life truly is. And at the center of all this despair is Lily, carrying the immense, crushing weight of her father's impending mortality. Lily is just breaking. You can see it in her eyes, the way she carries herself, the exhaustion etched into every line of her beautiful face. She is terrified of losing the man who has been her rock, her biological father, the vibrant soul of their family, and the absolute devastation she felt when the biological matches failed. I don't think I will ever forget those scenes. To hold on to that tiny sliver of hope, only to have it violently ripped away. Holden Novak, Malcolm's own newly discovered son, not a match. The universe can be so incredibly cruel sometimes. To finally find your son, only to realize his blood cannot save you. It is a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions. And then the twins, Maddie and Charlie, Lily's own children. The hope that her offspring could be the miracle Malcolm needed. But the test came back negative, not a match. The absolute despair that must have washed over Lily in that moment is unimaginable. To look at your children and know they cannot save your father, it is a unique kind of hell. She is completely out of options, drowning in a sea of hopelessness, watching the clock tick down on Malcolm's life. She is a woman standing at the edge of an abyss, waiting for the inevitable fall. Kane has been watching all of this from the periphery. He overheard the devastating conversation. He saw the tears, the defeat, the absolute shattering of Lily's spirit. And because he is Kane, because he is driven by this deep, obsessive need to protect her and heal her, he couldn't just stand by and do nothing. He couldn't watch the woman he loves drown in sorrow. So he makes a decision, a quiet, heroic, desperate decision. He decides to step out of the shadows and offer himself up. He volunteers to get tested to see if he could be the bone marrow donor Malcolm so desperately needs. Logically, medically, the odds of Kane being a match for Malcolm are astronomically low. He is not a blood relative. He is an outsider, genetically speaking. In the real world, this would be a futile gesture, a desperate grasp at straws. Kane knows this. He knows it is a massive long shot. But he doesn't care, because even a 1 in a million chance is still a chance, and he will take any odds if it means he might be able to wipe the tears from Lily's face. It is a beautiful, selfless act, born out of a love that refuses to surrender to logic or statistics. I find myself so deeply moved by his willingness to put himself through the medical procedures, the false hope, just for her. But this is Genoa City. We all know how the universe works here. We understand the unwritten rules of soap opera logic. The most dramatic outcome is almost always the most likely outcome. The long shot, the impossible miracle, that is the bread and butter of our beloved show. So, as I sit here thinking about it, I am almost certain that Kane is going to be the match. It is the perfect narrative twist. The man who was betrayed by the family, the man who was pushed away, becomes the ultimate savior. It is poetic justice, wrapped in a medical miracle. I can already picture the scene. The doctor walking into the waiting room, the solemn look on their face transforming into a gentle smile as they deliver the impossible news. If Cain is the match, it changes the entire landscape of their relationship. It shifts the tectonic plates of their history. How does Lily process that? The man she betrayed, the man she manipulated with Victor Newman, the man she caused so much trauma. Stepping up to literally save her father's life. The emotional debt would be staggering. It would force Lily to reevaluate everything she thought she knew about Cain, about their past, and about her own heart. How can you look at a man who gave your father the gift of life and not feel an overwhelming, life-altering wave of love and gratitude? It is the kind of act that washes away past sins, that cleanses the slate in the most profound way possible. It really brings up a complex emotional question, though. If Lily does fall back into his arms after this, is it out of genuine, reignited romantic love, or is it out of a profound sense of gratitude and obligation? It is a messy, blurred line. When someone saves your world, you give them your heart. But is that a healthy foundation for a renewed romance? I ponder this a lot, but then I realize, for Cain, it probably doesn't matter. He is so consumed by his need for her, so obsessed with having her back in his life, that he would gladly accept her on any terms: gratitude, obligation, true love. He will take whatever piece of her soul she is willing to offer. It is a slightly dark thought, but it rings true to the intensity of Flynn's portrayal, which brings us to the rumors, the whispers of a proposal. The idea that Cain, riding the emotional high of being the savior, might actually drop to one knee and ask Lily to marry him again. It is a breathtaking thought, Cain offering a ring, offering a promise of forever, right in the midst of this chaotic medical crisis. I can see it happening in the quiet intimacy of a hospital room, or perhaps in the park where they have shared so many memories. He would look into her eyes, his own filled with that intense, burning devotion, and ask her to let him be her husband once more. It would be a moment of pure, unadulterated romance, a beacon of light in the darkness of Malcolm's illness. But I have to ask myself, is it the right time? Is it appropriate to propose when the family is in the middle of a life and death struggle? Some might say it is incredibly selfish, capitalizing on a moment of high emotion and vulnerability. It could be seen as Cain manipulating the situation, using his status as the donor to secure his ultimate prize. It is a cynical view, but one that cannot be entirely ignored given his obsessive tendencies. However, I prefer to look at it from a different angle. Sometimes, facing death is the exact thing that makes you fully appreciate life. Staring into the abyss of mortality has a way of stripping away the nonsense, the past grievances, the petty arguments. It clarifies what truly matters. When you realize that life is fleeting, that the people you love could be taken from you at any moment, you don't want to waste another second. You want to hold them close, bind them to you, and promise to never let go. For Cain, Malcolm's illness is a stark reminder that time is a thief. He doesn't want to waste any more time being apart from the woman he believes is his destiny. The proposal wouldn't be a manipulation, it would be an urgent, desperate plea for life, and love in the face of death. It would be him saying, "Life is too short. Lily, let's not waste another day being angry or afraid. Let's be together, now and always." And honestly, there is something incredibly beautiful and romantic about that urgency. Cain's ultimate dream has always been crystal clear. He doesn't just want Lily, he wants his family back. He wants the chaotic, beautiful, messy reality of being a husband and a father under one roof. He wants to wake up next to Lily. He wants to argue about mundane things. He wants to sit at the dinner table with Maddie and Charlie and feel whole again. The destruction of their marriage shattered that dream, and he has been wandering in the wilderness ever since. This medical crisis, this potential miracle, is his pathway back home. It is his chance to rebuild the walls of his sanctuary, to gather his loved ones close and protect them from the harshness of the world. I think about Maddie and Charlie, too. The twins have been through so much turmoil. The fake kidnapping, the divorce, the constant push and pull between their parents. To have their parents reunite, to see their father save their grandfather. It would be a profound healing moment for them as well. It would restore their faith in love, in family, in the idea that broken things can be put back together. Cain knows this. He knows that winning Lily back isn't just about his own selfish desires. It is about repairing the foundational damage done to his children. A wedding wouldn't just be a union of two people, it would be the resurrection of a family. And honestly, after everything they have been through, I find myself rooting for them. Yes, the history is incredibly messy. Yes, the fake kidnapping was a horrific betrayal. Yes, Cain's current obsession borders on the unhealthy. But that is the magic of Genoa City, isn't it? We don't watch these shows for perfect people making healthy, rational decisions. We watch for the passion, the drama, the undeniable pull of a love that refuses to die. Kane and Lily have a chemistry that burns through the screen, a shared history that cannot be erased. They are intertwined in a way that makes them impossible to separate permanently. I can envision the wedding day already. It wouldn't be a massive, extravagant affair. It would be intimate, perhaps in the Chancellor garden, surrounded only by those who truly matter. Lily in a simple, elegant gown, tears streaming down her face as she looks at the man who saved her father. Kane looking at her with that intense, unwavering gaze, finally feeling like he can breathe again because his world is back in alignment. The vows they would share wouldn't be naive promises of a perfect life. They would be raw, honest acknowledgments of their broken past and their fierce determination to build a better future. They would promise to forgive, to protect, and to never, ever let go again. It makes me wonder how the rest of the family would react. Devin, for instance. Devin has always been fiercely protective of Lily, and he has had his fair share of issues with Kane. But if Kane is the one who saves Malcolm, Devin's biological father figure, that changes everything. It would force Devin to swallow his pride, to look at Kane not as the man who hurt his sister, but as the man who performed a miracle for their family. It could heal old wounds and forge new alliances. The ripple effects of Kane's sacrifice would touch every corner of the Winters and Ashby families, bringing a sense of unity that has been missing for far too long. Ultimately, this storyline is a profound exploration of redemption. Can a man redeem himself from past mistakes by performing an act of ultimate selflessness? Can a woman redeem herself from a devastating betrayal by opening her heart to forgiveness? Kane and Lily are navigating these heavy, complex questions in real time. It is a journey of healing, not just for Malcolm's physical body, but for the fractured souls of everyone involved. It is a reminder that even in our darkest moments, when all hope seems lost and the shadows are closing in, a single act of love can light up the entire world. As I sit here, pondering all these intertwined lives, I am struck by the sheer emotional weight of it all. The writers are truly delivering a masterpiece of soap opera storytelling. They are taking characters with deep, flawed histories and pushing them to their absolute limits. They are asking us to look past the betrayals and see the beating, vulnerable hearts beneath. Kane Ashby, with his dark obsession and his heroic intentions, is the perfect catalyst for this emotional explosion. And Lily Winters, with her profound grief and her lingering guilt, is the perfect canvas for this story of renewed hope. So, we will keep watching. We will keep analyzing every look, every tear, every whispered promise. We will wait with bated breath for the test results, praying for a miracle for Malcolm, and secretly hoping for a miracle for Kane and Lily's hearts. Because at the end of the day, we all want to believe that love conquers all. We want to believe that soulmates will always find their way back to each other, no matter how far they have strayed, or how deeply they have been hurt. And in Genoa City, as long as there is breath in their lungs, there's always hope for a happily ever after. Thank you for joining me in these thoughts today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.